Hi, it's Mickey Dolenz here. You're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
Hello, it is 10:19. Today is the 26th of April. I'm going to meet up with Darla Day. Darla Day, I met at the Rainbow a few months back with Yachtly Crew. It was a TKO event, and I met her and the other guy's name is, I think, Keenan, or I'll check my records. But I had this extraordinary conversation with the two of them, and just big time diving deep into synchronicities and all kinds of astounding cosmic information. And it was during that time that I came to the revelation that I realized, like, holy cow, this familiarity I feel with you all is the key. It is the what do you call it? The trip switch, is that what you would call it? That's the sign to us that we have in fact found our fellow starseeds. We have found those souls that we have previously made soul contracts with. As it's been said by Dolores Cannon, we make these soul contracts before we come into this life. We choose our family, we choose all this stuff. Mary Milhone told me that her son, who's 10 years old, talks with his little friends about their past lives all the time. No problemo. And in fact, he told her, he said, Mom, there were 20 different moms I could have chosen, and I chose you. It's so interesting, isn't it, when you think about that? The kid remembers that from before entering the human condition. This kid remembers this from up in the ether, so to speak. So I had this extraordinary conversation with Darla and this other fella. I'll get his name. I'll have it by the end of this podcast, because I'm going to interview her. And just a phenomenal spirit. And as I'm walking up to the subway here, I'm noticing these buildings that just are torn down. They're scraped up. I'm noticing buildings that have been set on fire around this neighborhood. And you know, what could be these motivations behind this? There's that moment in someone's brain where they decide, okay, I can either leave that business alone, or I could decide to just burn that down, no problem. And it's very strange to think that there's something between not doing it and doing it that happens that makes them decide, hey, you know what, I'm co-signing on this. I'm making this agreement. This is something we're going to do. I walked past one business that was burned down, and then I walked past this apartment complex that had like a bunch of like caution tape out in front, and it looked like someone tried to burn these garage doors that were out there. And so it's just very puzzling just to think, like, why? What is that motivation? Look at this guy, the anointed one. Of course you're out here, dude. I'm talking to my podcast on my way down to the subway to talk to another enlightened person. So of course I run into you on my way there, dude. Oh my God, dude. You know, it's the people that you feel a familiarity with that seem to just pop up out of nowhere when you're on your way, you know, either talking about another person that because I was just talking on here about how this girl that I'm going to go interview, when I first met her and her friend, at that moment, like, we had such a familiarity. Like, who knows how many past lives we've known each other in? You know, who knows what kind of soul contracts we made? And us recognizing this right now is that little moment that we placed in our brains before we made that agreement in the human condition, going, okay, when you meet each other, you're going to absolutely know that you made this soul contract, that you're supposed to be working together. And the way that happens is that familiarity, is the way that those synchronicities flow. And so, of course, you pop up, because that's how I feel when I met you.
Oh, thank you.
So now here you are.
Yeah.
All right, I got to get going. Take care. Gosh, that was great. That's Rue, the anointed Rue. He lives in my building, actually. And just amazing, of course. And it's funny because earlier today I got a text from my buddy Alan, Alan Panicle, who I've seen evolve through the years as an artist. Now he's traveling all over to these different comic book conventions, and setting up his shop in what they call artists alley, and he's selling his own art. He used to do fan art, and people loved it. And then he started doing his own stuff, and people love that as well. And I'm just so proud of this guy. He's got prints. He's got all kinds of... He's got stuff on metal cut things and magnets, all kinds of cool stuff. Mouse pads. And, oh, man, just so proud of him. And, of course, and so when he contacted me, I'm like, oh, of course he popped up out of the woodwork, because those highly vibrational people... when things are going well for me, those others that I see my reflection in, I end up seeing how it's trickling down the line and how great things are happening for them as well. It's like things are happening for them and me simultaneously at the same time. And then we wash that news upon each other's shores to remind one another that, hey, we're all connected, man. All right, I'm going to go down into the subway now. And we shall talk more later. Thanks for listening to Inspirado Projecto.
Like when I moved here and did central casting. So it was like the wild, wild west, It was like 2015. So in those days, you would get like a notification, and then it was like everything, it was like, whoever gets through the line first, you just call. It's different now. You remember?
Oh, it's different now?
It's different now. It's way more organized.
I remember that Wild West, and you had to just keep calling line, and then there was a whole bunch of things on there.
Oh my God. So it'd take forever to get through. So when I landed this one, it was like amazing. Plus it was like a multiple day shoot, because it was like out in Paramount Ranch. And there's a fitting and this and that. So one of the hosts, one of the robot people, and so I guess I'll start from that moment again. So Christopher Nolan made an announcement.
And you said hold on, just to clarify this in my brain. When you did the Westworld thing, it was still during the Wild Wild West?
Yeah.
Of central casting?
Yeah, totally. So it was like...
During the Wild West, here you are about to work on Westworld.
And also it was exciting because it was an overnight shoot, so then you get paid more.
I love it. Oh, that's cool.
And it's like a bonding experience with everyone. It's like all of a sudden there's no stars, there's no background people. We're all just people waiting to get the fuck out of there.
I love it.
And everybody just gets, kind of like... bonded down to that simple level.
Especially when you're tired and you get slap happy and you're like, once you get in that mode of slap happy, all bets are off. Like the absurdity just starts flying.
Like I remember this, there was another girl, what was her name? She was one of the stars on the show, and I remember she was wearing a yellow dress in the season finale, African American lady. She was so nice. And she came up to me out of nowhere, and she was like, "You look so pretty in that." Was she the one with all the different lives that they kept switching to? Oh. She was like, "You look so pretty in that," and I was like, "Thank you." Like we were just two girls, playing dress up. She was like so nice. And then, so that night, the last minute, they were like, "Okay, we need a bartender," and all the extras were like counting down. I was like, "Oh me, oh God, me," because I am a bartender. And so, they put me behind the little area, and like Ed Harris is there. Christopher Nolan comes up, and he was like...
saloon with that player piano?
It was like right outside. It's like an outdoor scene, where Anthony Hopkins makes that speech.
Scene. That one.
Yeah. And there was that scene. So Ed Harris had just gotten shot. He shared his process with me. He was like, all right, so I'm going to come up. You're going to slide me the drink. And he was like, he grabbed it with one hand. He was like, no, wait, I just got shot in the last scene. I can't. Okay, so I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to grab it with this hand, and I'm injured. And he's like telling me his process, and I was like, this is so cool.
I love it.
And then Christopher
He's
Nolan
taking you
comes
through
up.
each moment by moment.
And he was like out loud. I was like, this is so cool. And I was like, all right, cool. So if I do it like this, is that cool? And he was like, yeah. And then Christopher Nolan comes up. He was like, hello, dear. Like, what's your name?
The fact that you had Christopher Nolan,
Yeah, I know. He's really nice. I was like, my name is Darla. And then he was like, I'm Christopher Nolan. I was like, I know. Nice to meet you. And he was like, all right, dear, this is what we're going to do. You're going to just stand from here to here. Don't go outside of this line, this line, this line, or this line. You're just going to do what any, bartender would do. I trust you. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll just keep, shining the glass and, doing this and that. And then he was He's like, the camera's gonna come back this way, and then it's gonna come closer, and you just stay, within those perimeters. And then, and then there was like the next part was when Anthony Hopkins, he says something special in the speech, and then all the hosts have to freeze because we're really robots, and that's like a signal to the. And he
like
was
an embedded command.
Yeah, and he
right.
was like, just remember at this part when he says this, whatever you're doing, please stop what you're doing and look over at him. So it was like I had like a real thing to do.
Incredible.
And I had like people like texting me, calling me like, "Hey, was that you on Westworld?" I was like, "Yeah." They were like, "Was that like? Did you audition for that?" I was like, "No."
It's incredible.
It was just like right place, right time. It was like the most like fruitful experience I've ever. Yeah, so that was really cool.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And that was how many days?
It was a 2-day shoot.
And it was the same scene?
It was like the whole latter half, like all the Western outdoor scenes of the season finale. Yeah. So.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it was crazy because when there was the Malibu fires later that year, I was like, oh my god! And Paramount Ranch, like most of it burned down. I was like, wow, I felt a little,
And you were like, I
felt
was
what
there.
they felt. Yeah, what people who work there regularly probably felt like, but they probably felt worse about it. But yeah, it's amazing what the actors
they had a whole
go
town.
through.
The whole town was all set up out there, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, totally. It was like a whole town.
How the heck does that? It's such a confusing thing when you hear about these fires. You go,
and like you can't do anything about it.
what other things did you work on?
New Girl.
And
what's that show called? It's called Love or something.
what did you do?
Let's see. In New Girl, I was on the plane in one of the season finales when Schmidt and the girl get married, and like Schmidt's stuck on the plane. So I got to see Schmitty. I forget. Oh, it's so bad I don't remember his real name in real life. Great actor. So I got to see him in real life do his process. It's so crazy when they have to do a scene with and they're on the phone. It's like they're pretty much just like talking to themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like not embarrassed. They're not they don't feel weird about it or anything.
So were those your first encounters with acting? Mm-hmm. Really?
Pretty much, yeah.
That is cool. So
Thank you.
Whoa. So that must have been astonishing for you to be able to truly see movie magic at play. Mm-hmm. So from that moment forward, was it interesting for you to see movies and TV shows and have that in the back of your brain
totally.
Going, I know what's going on behind the scenes now.
Totally.
Did it affect now? Now when you see stuff,
you said photographic memory and being on set for continuity, I'm like, how do I do that? How do I get in on that? That would be a really cool job.
Thank you.
Yeah, the continuity. But then I realized I don't want to act because it's a lot of it's an artistic form and it's self-expression, but for me coming from a professional ballet background, it's I already did that. I already did self-expression through discipline. So I needed something more freeing, and so that's why I do music, because you can just you can say what you really want to say in your own way and just be free in the moment and kind of transcend through the energy.
You better believe it, baby. Thank you.
Thank you. Amazing. You want some of this? You want some meatloaf?
Oh gosh, no, thank you. I'm more vegan now than I.
Oh really?
Before. Yeah, my sister was my roommate. She recently moved out with her fiance, and she's vegan. She's been a vegan for a very long time. And living with her, I got to taste these delicious dishes, and so I kind of have been acclimating my taste buds to. I mean, yeah, it's hard for me to pass up a Reese's peanut butter cup or
or a
I love candy, and it's this. In fact, this whipped cream probably has milk in it, but I try to I don't know. I try to be as good with it as possible. And as a result, I've actually gained an appreciation for fruits and vegetables, which I never liked growing up.
That's what the taste bud thing did to me, because it said I had to eat milk products and lots of fruits and vegetables to help bring back the taste.
Really?
And, cleanse the body of the metals or whatever. And it's working. Not having a single drop of alcohol until I get all my taste buds back.
Wow.
I realized that tasting life in its purest form is actually more satisfying than
I love that.
getting high. Even though that is very fun, I will not stop doing that. But, however, the first thing I said is, if I had to choose, I would choose that for sure.
Right. Well, it's interesting because
yay, I can taste gravy. Yay, it's a good day.
You're making some progress there. Mm-hmm. As you're telling me about your ballet, I just had this vision of you being in a band and like during the parts where it's just an instrumental solo or something, you doing this phenomenal ballet and people are just not expecting it. You're like a big stage, like you're singing and then all of a sudden on goes this like awesome musical experience and you're just up there. And
I mean, I could just start improving because I do some of that in some of my songs, like the more poetic ones, like the Drunken Unarmed song I said. My friend said the middle tangent I go on kind of reminds her of like a Jim Morrison thing.
Oh.
Yeah, so kind of just like whatever. But yeah, it was my ticket out of a crazy household. And the only way I could really express myself, because I wasn't good at expressing my emotions like in words or even, most people grow up in a house where if there's abuse, you're not supposed to talk about it.
Right.
You're gonna make sure everything looks fine and blah 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 blah. So use.
Yes. Thank you.
Use dance as a way of escaping and running away. And
isn't it amazing when we think of these times where people who face trauma, like, what's the thing that usually saves them in the end? It's artistic expression.
Art.
Isn't that beautiful? Like it because. They're enabling themselves. Yes. And they're able to just like leave all of whatever those other responsibilities are, just like just shed it and then be in that particular reality.
That's because that side of us is just our spirits, our pure being, our energy form. And that's actually the only thing that's real. I always say we're not human beings, we're feeling beings.
Ooh.
People forget that.
Yes. Yes. And
it's all we do all day long. Oh, what do I feel like eating? What do I feel like listening to? But I do have this new thing after my disaster weekend. I realized I figured out this saying. I just need to think just one step beyond. Oh, this feels good, and my whole world will change. I shouldn't let my feelings dictate all of my actions. Yes, they will dictate your actions, but that can be a recipe for disaster if you're always feeling oriented,
Yeah, because those feelings are based on our belief systems, which are based on, and we always hear this buzzword trigger all the time, but it's that classical conditioning thing where it's someone says something that they don't even realize at that moment reminds them of something that, some bully that used to say all the time when they're in 5th grade or whatever. Now this person's out here, they're 20 or 30 years old,
yeah.
And there's a thing that said, and then they want to, beat up this person. It's whoa, they're not taking that moment to really go, whoa, what is this rooted
really
in?
Connected to.
Yeah, and
where is it really coming from?
And it's they, as it's been said, we are responsible. We are able to respond how we want.
That's how we control what people do to us, is how we respond.
And whether we want to take that on or whether we want to ingest that. And that's the beautiful thing, too. It's I've learned that I started sharing my energy and insights. And, oh, yes, very good, thank you. I started sharing, once I realized, I think I saw a TikTok about it. I mean, it's amazing how the most profound information will come to you through TikTok or Instagram or wherever, or a table like this, a diner. And one of the things he was talking about, give your energy is a currency. If you think about that electricity currency, but your energy is a currency, valuable. And so it's what are we paying for? What are we paying for? What are we willing to pay for our energy with?
Totally.
Okay, is it if I'm hanging out with low vibrating people who don't get me, who don't understand or appreciate in a reciprocative manner, my perspectives of the world as much as I appreciate their perspectives of the world, and how can we blend these together to make a harmonic experience. It's like, if I find myself with people like that who are just constantly going, hammering me down, oh my God, that's my own fault, because I'm paying energy, I'm paying that currency for that experience.
Right.
So what I've been doing is kind of stopping myself in those moments where, yes, I could speak up. Yes, I could say a smart-ass thing. Yes, I could be very facetious about something that someone just said. And there's that piece of me, there's that where that ego is, where it's like, ooh, oh yeah,
same,
you know.
Same.
And then I go,
have those
okay,
moments too.
okay, Kurt, okay, hold on a second.
Yeah, is it
Dude,
worth it?
what's really going to come out of that? Okay, what is that energy that you're about to express worth that pain?
Exactly.
And what may come out of that? Or do you want to just hold this here and redirect your thoughts to something else? Oh, look at that, there's a beautiful cloud. Maybe that's the solution, right? So in those moments, I've realized, and what happens with that is, when I do come across those, like yourself, spirits who do, quote, get it, the floodgates flow. All of that energy that I was like not paying there, it's like, okay, all right, let's bring down the floodgates, because now here's someone who, number one, can handle it, but also two,
aware.
Reciprocates it. Yeah,
right.
aware. It's aware of it. Not only can they handle it, they've already been surfing in it, you know. And I'm just opening up my waterways to their waterways, and we're like, oh yeah.
What you're talking about too is just like manipulating energy and just playing with energy. Like a good example, what my friends love to tell this story at parties. We were at the Soho House, the one downtown, and I don't remember a lot of this because I was pretty drunk, but I have a tattoo on my back. It's like a gun shooting hearts, and I've believed in this since I was a little kid. Like, kill them with kindness, just because obviously if someone's being shitty, there's something else going on, and I'm very sympathetic to people in pain, and I can see it in all its forms. And I'm a healer, so I'm like, okay. So we're at the bar at Soho, and this fancy transvestite comes up. That's what they said. Like, he looked very fancy, like very rich, very like Prada this, Chanel that, whatever. And I guess he looks at me and my friends and goes, trash. Like, who let you in? You guys are trash. Okay. So then she said what I did is I looked at him, I put him in a friendly headlock, and I noogied him.
Oh my God!
I said, "Oh, you!"
No way! That's brilliant.
I was like, "Oh, you and
oh
you,
God.
oh you get out of here!" And he just like,
oh my God!
I guess they said he looked really stunned, and then like looked confused, and then just like
totally taken aback.
Away.
Oh my God! I love it. I love it. You completely diffuse the impact.
Yeah.
You go, oh yeah, bam.
Yeah, I was like, oh, you and your stupid things you say because you're stupid.
They're not expecting someone to actually stand up to them.
Yeah, and they're not seeing the truth. They're seeing the physical. They're actually seeing how they measure themselves.
Exactly.
Without all that fancy stuff,
exactly.
He thinks he's trash. So we don't have the fancy stuff.
And is that interesting? It's like, and that's the interesting thing. It's like, those are the ways that people they're giving away, how should I put it? They're giving away the secrets about how they truly feel about themselves. And isn't that torturous to know that this little bit of pollution is let out of their smokestack, so to speak. But those people have that all day long, every single moment of every time. They're stuck in that freaking cesspool of pollution all the time.
And they're feeding it more and more by divulging in that story that they're telling themselves and then spending money to keep that story alive.
Yes. And you know what? And that takes a hell of a lot of energy and effort to keep a falsity fed, you know, as we've been seeing. A lot of the social constructs are totally crumbling right now because they're tired of, you know, they're tired of paying their advertisers for these particular things to enhance the public mind in these particular ways. So it's interesting because all those things are melting away. And it's so, I just keep getting these images of like, no matter what, like, okay, you know, we always hear about like the hierarchy of like, okay, the controllers are at the top of the pyramid. You know what's so funny though is all the lies are melting away and the water levels are rising, and now guess what? They're no longer on top of the pyramid. They're at sea level. You know what I mean? Whereas all these other
universe has a way of balancing shit out that we have no idea how to.
It does. And it's so funny because The only news that I get is through whatever Instagram or Twitter is giving me. I'm not someone who even looks for it. Like
someone just texted me.
It's like hail that comes out of nowhere.
Something in the news recently, and they were like, "Are you following this?" And I was like, "No, why? What happened?" Because I would rather, if someone wants to talk about it,
sure,
that's fine. But like, no, I'm not following things specifically. Because like, you create your own reality, your own little world, and what you let into it is gonna like define the feeling of it.
Yes.
So I keep my world very like protected in my mental state. Like I don't talk to certain people because I know there might be a tendency that they'll fuck with my head, and I'm like, no, gotta keep it very like. Yeah.
And it's admirable, and it's awesome because of that energy, because it's self-contained.
I'm in my own little utopia in like a 700 square foot apartment, like
Well, and that's what makes your spirit so powerful, because you're containing it right here. Yeah. It's like this, this bright ball of energy.
That's
because
true.
You're not letting out the cracks. You're not letting any of that your attention out to all these other things.
You're right.
It's interesting because it's like, when I'm around people who are just all they want to talk about is like the surface, whether it's the sports or whether it's news or whatever, like who's boxing who, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we can complain as much as we want right now about whatever the news is forcing us to believe right at this point. We can talk about that, but then what's the end result? We argue about it, we get flustered, we get angry, we go shake our fists in the air, but then what's the end product?
Exactly.
So, going by that rationale,
like you said about currency, you're investing this energy currency, and then what are you getting out of it?
Right. So it's funny because each one of us is how should I say, holding some sort of guiding light, some sort of something in there that's bringing us along. Since we're born without no instruction booklet on how to follow this, what are we immediately bombarded by as a kid, and that our parents don't even realize that they're doing it. They're showing us the TV, they're showing us that they're watching the news in the morning, they're watching news at night, and then guess what? Those people are going to their jobs, and then they're talking about it around the water cooler, and all day long they're talking about all that stuff. Whereas, if they're to shut all that off, hang out with the kids, play with the kids, go out in nature, go out in the parks, and like really learn real true education right there, the things that are right there in front of their own reality experience, those are the things you can change. Like the revelation struck me the other day about climate change, and like the true climate to change is this individual climate here, this individual climate here, this, so what that means is, what words is this precipitation bringing along with this spirit? What is it bringing along with it? Am I a weather or an environment that someone wants to hang out with? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like,
totally.
You're giving me your environment, I'm traveling through your environment, you're traveling through my environment. As I share myself with you, you share yourself with me.
It redefines the term climate control.
It really totally does. It totally does. Because then, so it starts there. That's the epicenter. That's the core.
I love that. It's going to be my new phrase.
Oh, I love it. Climate control.
Have you seen that movie, I Heart Huckabees?
I have.
Oh, thank God.
I'm so
finally.
excited. I'm so excited that they talk about...
I've seen it a bajillion times. Like, I'm excited.
And the Statue of Liberty over here.
It's like everything's different, but the same.
And the submarine over there. And
all connected.
Yes.
The blanket. He's like, I don't want to do the blanket right now. I love his poem. He's like, no one sits like this rock sits. You rock, rock. The rock just sits and is. It shows us how to just sit here, and that's what we need.
I love, you know what? I love when movies like that have
so
that
true,
spirituality peeking through, and they're giving such education in that movie, and it'll just go. Phew,
it's a brilliant,
what a funny weird movie.
Yeah,
but they're not understanding.
People
don't
so much get. Oh, you have to watch it a bajillion times. Like, and especially if you're not on the level, you're not going to want to watch it.
No, it's going to be so hard. Because you're not going to appreciate...
I find it very comforting, that movie.
It's very comforting.
It's very comforting.
And I love the fact that you see Jason Schwartzman, who I've always loved since Rushmore.
Me too! With friends like you, who needs friends?
Oh, yes, yes.
To Bill Murray.
Oh, my God. I listen to that soundtrack over and over and over.
I know, I love that soundtrack. I love all the Wes Anderson songs.
Yes! Oh, my God. Oh,
You're my people.
Oh, it's such a good soundtrack, that whole soundtrack, and then Mark Mothersbaugh, all those little bleeps and bloops.
It's so good. Oh my god.
I love the Wes Anderson soundtracks. I love his
All
movies. Oh my god. And I love seeing that evolution of what he's.
Over.
Oh my god.
There's always something to like. I also like watching it over and over because it's like, does the movie change? It's like, no, we change.
We change.
So our perspective of it changes. So we pick up on different things, you know? Like, you can just watch them over and over and over and always get something out of it.
Oh my gosh.
But that takes an educated viewer to, like, do that. I do that with a lot of things, actually.
Like, watch it the first time. Because, you know, no matter what, you're going to be blasted with so much information. The next time you see it, maybe you're not necessarily focused on the main characters here, but you're kind of like, oh, what's going on in the background over there? You know, what? I didn't notice that before. That girl just put that guy in a headlock. You know? Like, oh my god, do you see what's going on in the background in the bar scene out there? Oh my god, I never saw that before. You know?
Yeah, you call it the stunner. I stunned him.
They called it stunner.
I stunned him.
Everyone was like, that could be like your wrestling name, the stunner.
The stunner.
And all you do is you just put them in headlocks and give them the noogies.
Yeah,
you know,
like,
and they're just stunned. They're just stunned. They don't know. Oh my god.
Exactly. That was hilarious.
Wow. Wes Anderson was so highly evolved. I love watching I almost said P.T. Barnum. P.T. Anderson, Paul Thomas Anderson movies too. Those are good. Like when he did Licorice Pizza, Punch Drunk Love, Magnolia.
Oh, Magnolia, yeah, Punch Drunk
Nights.
Love. Oh.
Bunch of them. He has about 3 or 4 other movies I have never seen before.
I didn't know the name.
Another.
That's really good to know.
He was crazy because I saw Magnolia before I moved out. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love this coffee. Yowza. I'm flying on like, I don't know which dimension right now. But his movies are just so interesting and so packed. And like Licorice Pizza was really cool. There's this whole shot where he's just following this kid running down the sidewalk. And there's a little kid in front of him riding on a bike kind of slowly. I mean, it's a typical one of those typical situations. You know, when like you're walking, maybe in a grocery store, you're walking down the sidewalk, and this person, you're trying to get around him. But they don't even know it. Like you're trying to go around this way, and they just kind of saunter off this way. You go, no, I'm trying to get around you. You know.
That's happened to me many times, actually.
Oh my god, right? And you're like, what the
And you're trying to make it as less confrontational as possible, but then you end up doing a dance around their energy because they don't even know what the fuck they're doing.
Right, they're just like this wobbly, like,
there's no intention, so then you like...
And it's so beautiful because that typical situation, so imagine like this, it's panning, and all these cars are just parked to the stoplight, and the kid is running, he's running. And right in front of him is this really slow kid on a bicycle. So you see him running behind him, and he's and then he goes out to the street, and so he's running on the outside of the cars to try to get past the kid, but then he's got to go back in, but then the kid is still in front of him again. And he's like, you can just tell he's got somewhere to go. But and he's trying not to be rude. He just does not want to be rude. Like, kid, please, you just stop. Let me just get around you. So he's just kind of dealing with it and going, just that one scene. I totally sympathize with that kid.
Oh my god, I love that.
Oh my god. So those little kinds of little situations, those uncanny situations, we're going.
Well, it's also like the energy, the light workers are aware of like where we could kind of save energy from interacting, so we try to like, you know,
I like that.
Like reserve energy. It's not that you don't.
Yes.
That's why people sometimes they get so offended. They're like, oh, that person didn't acknowledge me. That person didn't make eye contact when they're walking by. Well, some people don't have the bandwidth for that.
Ooh, that's
don't
a good way
take
of
it
putting
personally.
That's a good way of
They don't know how to give anymore, or maybe they're scared.
And plus, they don't know what your preferences are.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want to offend you, and they don't want any trouble. And it's like a dice roll these days. That's why I always tell people, like on the road, I'll be like, why does everyone take it so personally? There's like 1 million people on the road with a specific, and it's all important, a specific place to be, right? There's how many lanes, there's how many cars, there's how many exits, there's how many destinations, and yet we take it so personally when someone doesn't see us. It's like, maybe you don't feel seen in general in your life. You don't feel seen. It's just, oh, someone cuts you off. Oh, now they're the asshole. It's like, first of all, we're not perfect. We're multifaceted creatures, but we're still getting used to how to use all of our senses properly. Like, we're not that good at it. Someone's thinking more about the long term. Obviously, we know we're programmed that way. So, of course, they're not always going to look They're just trying to get there.
Yes.
And when people are maxed out, stressed out as much as they are, especially in a big city, you can't expect them to be so considerate of you. Like, get the fuck over it. Like, it's not personal. People are just trying to get somewhere. And even if it is personal, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
You know? Like, everyone's so fucking sensitive, but everyone's so tough about it. It's like, geez, like, just relax. Like, the currency thing. You're really going to waste all your energy on the freeway, and then when you get somewhere, you're all mad and flustered.
And all of that vibe goes into this interaction when you finally get off the freeway, you finally park and all that, and then it's like... And then they arrive in that
and then
situation.
When you try,
like, you know?
And then when you try to tell somebody this who's not on the level, they're like, "Oh, because you're so perfect." And it's like, it's not about being perfect. It's about understanding the way things work to better your own existence.
Oh my God, that is so true.
Like this isn't a competition.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not better than anybody, and the fact that you see it that way means I can't even talk to you about this in general.
Brilliant.
Like, if anything, it should be like, oh fuck, you're right, and I don't even have to be right, but it's like when someone shows you a different way of looking at something, that should be looked at as like a gift, like a tool.
Especially when it's something that's coming from an intention of trying to ease their discomfort from future events of that. Like, it's like, okay, evidently you don't like what you're telling me right now about what you just experienced, so I'm going to offer you maybe a couple of keys here so you can kind of not have to deal with that again. And they're like, oh, well, you're so perfect. And
it's like, well, maybe I'm also offering this because I've been there. I've been a victim most of my life, you know? Like, and then I realized, you know what? I don't want to be a victim anymore. Being a victim's overrated.
I love it.
And
you
how
just
do I
changed
not be
your role. You changed your character.
Change the story I'm telling myself. That's what Les Brown says. He's like, if you don't like the outcome, you're the producer, you're the star, you wrote this script. So go back to the drawing board and write a different one.
I love that you say that because one of my favorite teachers, Dolores Cannon, she says that same thing because she's learned that information through.
It's so true.
A series called Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique, where she takes people through past life regressions and stuff.
Oh, that's dope.
And so all those people, it's the same thing. They're like, you're the director, you're the writer, you're the producer, you are the star of this show. You've made agreements before you came in.
You can leave whenever you want, and that's where it's clashing with the old generations, because like in the 50s it was like, oh, you marry this person, you made a commitment, you gotta stick with it. And it's like, while that's valiant, you also have to be educated about it. Like, are you the captain and now you're jumping ship? Whereas you should maybe stay and try to work it out, because a lot of people just jump ship. Or is this like a valid reason to leave and start a new story? You know, and some people get stuck. They're like, no, I have to be this person because that's my dedication to like whatever. It's a story.
Yeah, like strictly on principle
part of the story
type of
too.
thing.
Like, yeah, exactly. Even if it's not good for you, you keep acting a certain way out of respect for something that's dead, or some generational thing, or some heirloom family history. I don't know. So,
well, it's tricky too, because it's like those people were taught to do that growing up.
Yeah.
So it's like it wasn't their fault because they had nothing more. They had nothing as an alternative. You know, no one else was out there. It's crazy when you see like how people are like, oh, well, you know, like every maybe 20 years, like whatever the newest generation is like, oh, you old fogies, you know what the hell you're talking about. Well, it's like, maybe you don't know what you're talking about because the propaganda machine has taught you to believe that specific thing. Just as it taught me to believe this specific thing. Just as it
maybe
taught
nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about, and maybe everyone knows what the fuck they're talking about.
Right. Well, I mean, I think that's why I appreciate the words and wisdom. Like, the biggest teachers to me are, and I always say, it's like children, animals, nature.
Yeah.
Those, because they're the natural unfolding of the universe. They are just what they are. They are what they are. And there's so much to be
They're not conditioned by like man-made thing. I mean, as far as like ideas.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, probably
rules and regulations and
buildings and whatever, but
like a baby, if it was just simply taught to just keep following its heart and do what it loves doing, you know, and that baby was raised in a family that like everybody understood that we are personally responsible for creating our personal reality experience, despite whatever the outside is saying. There's plenty of room for all of our reality experiences to fit together like Venn diagrams. And it's like, yes, I can see what's going on out there. Yes, I can see how these people are living their lives. But guess what? Those are the choices that they're making, the things that that's their story that they're writing. It has nothing to do with
Exactly.
my story.
Exactly.
My story's over here in this book, over here in the library. Over
Exactly.
here. I could see the other books, sure. You know, and
Exactly.
It's so intriguing when like if a baby were taught that from the ground up, all the high vibrating things.
I mean,
really,
some are now these days.
a lot of them. Yes,
A
yes.
lot
The
of them
star
are.
seeds are
Star seeds
are waking
are-
up, aren't they?
Yeah, they're because we're coming from a different. This is the age, yet again, an age of enlightenment. You know, where a lot of people are like really on the same page, and that's what I love about like Instagram. At least the people that I follow and the things that I follow, I see some people are like, I hate Instagram. It's like, well, tailor your viewing. You can
Totally.
unfollow something, and if you like something, investigate.
Yeah.
Find more stuff like that. See where that leads you. I mean, I've learned a lot of stuff, you know, looking at social media. You can find quotes. People share uplifting ideas. I mean, it's a great platform.
You know, it's so interesting because it's such a symbolic representation of just like the revelation struck me, just like what you're saying, tailor fit your viewing experience.
Yeah.
The revelation struck me when I was on Facebook and I realized long ago, I was on Facebook and I go, isn't this interesting how like this is sort of an analogy for like just life in general. It's like what comments am I going to respond to or not respond to that other people are doing out there?
Yeah.
Whose stories am I going to be watching? I mean, really, whose story am I watching?
Right.
And is this something I'm gaining? Am I gaining knowledge out of this? Am I gaining something out of it? Something nutritious that I can take with me and it'll help brighten my day? You know, that I
Right.
can forward on to the other Earthlings on this planet. You know,
Exactly. It's
and
a small way to make a difference. I mean, people maybe only get like 100 views on some of my posts, but it's like those 100 people feel inspired now or have a little bit of something, and maybe it's going to come out in their day somehow. It's like a domino effect. You don't know where that idea is going to end up, and it wasn't even originally my idea, but it's something that I adopted along the way, and it's like our duty to keep kind of like putting it out there to kind of counteract all the like the negative things going on. Yeah.
It's incredible because it reminds me of like, you know, like in Star Wars, I think is one of the most like the original ones, Luke Skywalker. And, like it's some of the
Coffee, guys? Yes, please.
yes, please, thank you. It's awesome because that is an analogy for life. They're talking about the Force. The Force, you know, God.
Yeah.
The Force is not putting its stamp of approval. It's putting its stamp of approval on everything. And it's like, okay, the Force is what you make it. Do you want to be the Sith or do you want to be the Jedi?
Yeah, it's your choice.
You know, do you want to follow the yin or the yang? Or
And if you're undecided, then life will just blow you around. It blew me around for like a long time. I was undecided. I couldn't pick a side. Like I didn't know like where I wanted to be or if I wanted to be, you know?
When did you first start having revelations, or what kind of teachers, or what kind of books, or et cetera, et cetera? What kind of wisdom started going and cracking the shell where you go like, oh, and, you know, and you started going, holy cow,
Yeah.
you know, this is really making sense, or this is saying exactly what I've always thought but didn't know how to put it into words, and now it's like, holy cow, this is something to pay attention to.
Yeah. I mean, I've always believed in God, even as a small child, and the light. I could always feel like angels and like, you know, that I was a part of something very, very positive. Then I was like also very lost, you know, because of like, you know, human experience reasons and conditioning and this and that. And then fast forward to, I think and I read a lot of books, a lot of spiritual books, a lot of self-help books. I read the Bible, like lots of parts of the Bible, the Dhammapada, like the Quran. I've read a lot of different, because, you know, all religion is like saying the same thing basically. Just depends on how you want to structure your life so that you feel secure that the faith is going to work, basically. That's what all those rituals come from. And then I think the things that started to really make sense to me were just motivational speakers like Les Brown, T.D. Jakes, Tim Robbins, obviously, Eric Thomas, so many. But just little things they would say here and there that would like get me back on my feet and make me look at, you know, being brave differently. Like, you gotta always keep searching for the light. You gotta always dig down and find that creativity and like put it out there. Yeah.
Well, it's something definitely to be paid attention to when you see all these different teachers who come across very similar information. You go, okay. And you start seeing those similarities and those golden nuggets, and you go, okay, I'm holding on to this. I've seen 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 different spiritualists and motivational speakers and channelers, et cetera,
Yeah,
shaman.
and they're all saying the same
And they're
thing.
saying these things, so these are the gold nuggets. Okay, I'm taking that with, I'm taking
saying
that.
the same thing the Bible does. They're saying the same thing, but like I would used to tell my mom, she'd be very religious and try to help people and push the Bible, and I'm like, that's great and all, but because you're a healer and because you want to help people, wouldn't it be cool if you could say what you're trying to say with the Bible in a language that really spoke to them?
Ooh, yeah.
Because that's why people go like, the Bible is this, or like they'll make fun of religion or whatever, because it's not speaking to them. It's not set to their channel. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like people have to find what works for them, basically. I believe. But yeah, I listen to those guys like every day. Yeah, they're really good. They do these little mashup videos on YouTube, and it's just like, it's so fruitful. I'll send you one of them. It's just amazing what they say. It's gotten me through so much, and it never gets old. You can always hear something different that makes you want to keep pushing.
And isn't that incredible? Like when you hear such highly vibrational material, it affects the rest of your day, because now the next interaction you have is now seasoned with that information you just learned. And now that conversation, should you share it with a highly vibrational person who's making space for you, and you make space for them, now you're coming out of that with an even more powerful
Yeah,
power.
it just
You could talk to someone for 3 hours on the phone, and you're like, some people I could talk for 20 minutes, I'm like, oh my God, I'm
drained.
I'm like, oh God,
Yeah,
because they're taking so much, But then someone else I could talk to for 3 hours, I go,
and feel amped, you're just ready to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's that beautiful energy exchange of like, oh, I'm being heard,
Yes.
and someone's adding on to it with their own experiences.
And there's
they're
no
feeling
kind
safe.
of weird agenda, like where they're acting like they're listening, like the guy I was telling you about, like acting like they're listening to you, but really it's part of this fucked up little plan to get you close so that they can attack you later and fuck you up later for their own egotistical, maniacal gain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very strange.
It's interesting because
Very strange.
those kinds of minds are just so.
But
they're,
I was
they're
very
terrified
protected.
of going off on their own path.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, for sure. Because they need, like you said, a parasite always needs something to like latch onto. Even though they act so like high and mighty and like they don't need anything, they actually do. It's insane.
Yeah, they need to hear. They need the people to hear them say how high and mighty they are. They need that audience in
like
order
constantly.
to Yeah. Look at that, the observer. How cool is that? We're sitting right there, the covers, the observer, and here we are as these observers talking about this stuff.
I love that.
Wow. I love seeing that because when I was growing up, the revelation struck me. And it's so funny because you'll have these revelations growing up, and then later down the line, they'll be re-echoed back to you through these different teachers and these different books and these different things. The observer, I had this huge revelation growing up. I forgot when it started, but I realized there are the observers and the participators. So you got the audience people who are out there watching the. I'll just use football or whatever.
Yeah.
You got the observers, you got the audience, like, oh yeah, and then you got the actual participators who are on the field. They have a limited perspective. They can't see behind them. They don't have that luxury of the 360 view. They have this.
Right.
That's it. That's all they got. So these people who are sitting up in the stands, first of all, they are not risking anything. Two, they have the luxury of saying, oh, well, you should have zagged left instead of zigging right. You dumb idiot, why didn't you catch that?
It's easy to see it from out there.
Did you want to come down off the stands and you want to come off, get on
see
the
it
field
from-
with us
yeah,
and see
exactly.
what that's like?
Exactly.
And so the observers and the participators, it's
That's why it's
interesting.
so easy to like watch reality shows and like judge people. People love judging.
It's such a low-hanging fruit, and you know what that is?
Low-hanging fruit.
It's such that lowest common denominator because it's so easy to just go ahead and make fun of somebody. It's just so easy to go, oh, that's stupid, that's dumb, that's stupid, that's dumb. And I remember
What were
growing
you
up-
thinking?
Yeah, what were you thinking? And it's like, well, what are you thinking by watching this trash?
Thinking I want to get away from you right now.
Right.
Asshole.
It's crazy when, like, to know that those kinds of things are dominating the culture, and so, and then what'll happen is within a news program or something, they'll reference this kind of thing, this kind of dramatic thing that was going on, that thing, and it's like, oh my God, they just really love keeping the populace off balance, don't they?
Yeah.
It's like anything we could do to keep you away from actually considering the social constructs of the reality, and anything we could do to stop you from meditating, from being at one with all that.
And be distracted, constantly distracted.
Because whoever those controllers are, they understand. What, your
Strawberry.
taste buds are just not working?
Strawberry.
Oh, the strawberry.
The strawberry
What did
part
it
of my tongue is not ready yet.
Oh my gosh, what did it taste like?
It tastes like if I licked the bottom of that trash can.
No way.
It tasted really bad.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they're not ready.
Who would have thought that there are? So how's the ketchup? How's the eggs? How's the hash brown?
Good. I think the
It'd
gravy.
be so funny if each thing on
the
here would
gravy
taste like something
tasted the
completely
best.
different.
I
Like,
know.
well, this one tastes like an orange.
It was
tastes
like that for a while. My girlfriend and I were sitting around. It was like last month, at the height of the weird tasting, and she was just like, "Here, try this. Tell me what it tastes like. Here, try this."
Oh
tell
my
me what it
gosh,
tastes
you were like the experiment, right?
Everything was opposite.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was like, everything. Oh, so gross.
That's crazy.
So then I was like, "Hand me that beer. Let's
Hand me
get
that beer.
fucked up."
I want to taste chocolate. Hand me that beer. There's that chocolate taste I was missing. So when I tried the chocolate, it tastes more like lemonade.
Yeah, right. Am I being punked?
Yeah. What's going on here? Someone's punking my taste buds?
Totally.
Ashton, little tiny Ashton Kutcher. He's like, you get punked. Comes out on the tip of your tongue. Ashton, how you got? You alluded to the idea that perhaps you've had paranormal experiences, any sort of interesting astral travels. Yeah, you've had paranormal experiences.
Well, I've had a angel visitation. That's what this is about.
Really?
So I had this made in honor of it.
Whoa.
It was on
What? You know the date?
December 1st, 2020 at 3:34 a.m.
Whoa.
And what happened kind of reminded me of a Bible verse I like. It's Timothy 1:7. It basically says, like, God didn't give us a spirit of fear, but of, like, faith and love and blah, 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 blah. So basically I was getting out of an abusive relationship, and it just made me... The guy just flipped at the last minute, and it was like, try to, like, stay with people I love out of... Because even though my mom is well now, she was mentally ill growing up, so there would be bouts of, sunshine and rainbows, and then it would be like fucking hell broke loose, It was like the darkest. So you kind of grow up with, oh, I love this person, so that means it's my job to love them through everything and to stick around. No. You can do that for your parents. You can do that for your family. And now, I keep her at an arm's distance, but we still have a healthy relationship. But you don't have to do that for anybody. You don't. But I thought I had to, and I tried to help him, and it would just get more, like, physically abusive. And so finally, when it ended, I was just kind of, like, in shock. I couldn't cry. All I could do was eat bologna sandwiches, and I was watching some show, like, just over and over and over. It was like I would watch Parenthood over and over again. It's, like, really wholesome about relationships. And then I would watch Ray Donovan over and over and over again. It's all, like, kind of gangster, toxic family shit. So one night I was just like, I was never like suicidal or anything, but I was like, I'm just like done with everything. I don't want to watch anything. I don't want to listen to anything. I just want to sleep. So I turned my phone off, put it in the other room, and I go to sleep and I hear the alarm going off. And I'm like so confused. I'm like, and mind you, I'm not even... Normally after a breakup, you drink, you get fucked up. I had no desire to even do that. So I was very lucid, drank some milk, went to bed. My alarm's going off. I'm like, me and the cats look at each other, we're like, what the fuck? Go in the next room. The alarm is going off. It says alarm, and it's 3:34. 3:34. So I'm like, okay, I've heard this is an angel number. So we look it up. And it's just everything I needed to hear. Just everything. Just everything on, like, you're on the right path. Like, don't buy into, what other people say or make them feel about you. And just listing all these, like, good things about me that I needed to hear. And I was like, oh, my God, you're right. Like, I need to snap out of it. And it did. It snapped me right out of it. The next day, like, I woke up and I was like, cleaned my house, and I was like, I'm ready for that beer. You know, like
beer.
a little bit more alive that day. Like, because that's like part of the, you know, transition process. At least for me, it is. And yeah, so.
I think that's fantastic, and you know, and what's so cool is that you paid attention to that sign. You know, you paid attention to that moment, and you held it with such reverence.
Always searching for the light. Like, you know, if you want to be a martyr, you could just be like, oh, this piece of shit phone doesn't work. I just wanted to get a good night's sleep, and it's like, well, that's what you thought would work for you, but God has another plan for you.
Right.
What's going to make you feel better. So it's almost like that point of least resistance comes after a shit ton of suffering. And that's when your consciousness kind of like disconnects with like some kind of identity that you're going through. And that's exactly why I don't always think that like suffering is a bad thing. It makes your soul grow. For some, just like in birth, like it's painful, but then something good. For some reason, that's the formula in this dimension on Earth. Suffering equals growth. Suffering equals disconnecting from. It's like we're human, but we can't give in to being human too much. And only suffering can make that distinction and kind of create a safe barrier between consciousness and, you know, kind of being unconscious a little bit. So yeah, ever since then I've just been very like surrender. And surrender is different than giving up, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, like surrendering to the flow of what is,
and
gives
not
you
making
everything.
Conclusions about what's gonna, you know, that there's like one formula for happiness, or there's one formula, and fuck happiness. Try to get joy, which is like a constant.
Yeah, let's go to the high echelon, right? Yeah.
That's why losing my wallet or not having access to my funds right now. It's like, well, there's a way, and actually I can access what I'm supposed to do for now in a state of joy more than I can in a state of desperation or fear. Because then everything gets clenched up and everything gets real small and scary.
Yes. It becomes like you're just regarding yourself to just staring into that corner right there. No. You know, it's like, oh my God, everything looks horrible, looks terrible, and you hear the voices over here going, dude, turn around, man, come on, there's a whole awesome world over here. This is horrible, everything is terrible.
I'm scared.
Oh God.
Like when you go, you hide under a blanket, and it's like, then the monsters just get bigger because you can't see them anymore, and then your imagination starts to run wild with what ifs.
Do you ever listen to Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks?
It sounds familiar.
So Esther Hicks, she channels a council of beings, but she just kind of gives it one name, Abraham. And one of the things she talks about is that this is said like through all kinds of, you know, spiritualists and whatnot, is in order to, you know, a lot of folks are like, oh, that manifestation of reality, law of attraction stuff, that's just mumbo jumbo. And it's like, exactly, that's why it's not working for you. Take a look at your attitude. So what she talks about, you can't, like the language of manifestation of reality is source. And what is source? Ultimate joy, love, excitement, all those highly vibrational things.
Right.
So you have to first let yourself be happy. Let yourself get into that zone before you start intending that reality. Because now you're in that frequency. So you have to go, all right, now I'm in the stream, I'm in this flow of this good vibe. Now I'm going to imagine
I think that part is the hardest part for like everybody. It's just saying to yourself, I'm allowed to be happy.
Yes.
You know?
Rather than thinking, oh, it's right around the next corner.
Sometimes people think, you know, they did something wrong in their life and they keep punishing themselves, or they didn't pay their bills on time, or they're not making enough money, or they're not a success in a certain societal light, so therefore they're not allowed to be happy. And it's like, well, if you wait for everything to be perfect to be happy, like, that's just crazy.
Right. And then when it does work out in your favor, are you even going to be able to even recognize that happiness is there?
Right.
Because there'll probably be something else that you feel another blank that still needs to be filled.
That's the trap of like money. It's like I've never been rich financially, but what I am rich in is my soul and like knowing who I am. And that's like the richest form of
Yes.
And then the rest will fall into place when the universe sees that it's time, if you just like trust. Because if you have all of that money without those things first, that's when you just keep like you said, like, oh, this will make me happy. Okay, now this will make me happy. Okay, now this will make me happy. Like, I feel more content in the little world I created at home than people that I know travel every weekend to an exotic place. And not to say that, you know, there aren't people that travel that aren't on our level, but I just know of some people that like are running here, running there, running here, running here, running there, because they haven't like created that place inside themselves where there's just like true, and you know, it could be a chemical imbalance, it could be a dietary problem. There's a lot of things that affect like our ability to just be still and be conscious and enjoy things around us. You know, if you don't have enough serotonin, if you don't have, it kind of puts on these blinders. It all just comes back down to brain chemistry, really, because that is the portal of like everything. Like you said, that person who said, "Oh, this is mumbo jumbo." It's like, right. Just like if you looked at a hammer and tried to nail a nail and you said, "Oh, this is mumbo jumbo." Right. It's like, well, yeah, then the hammer's not going to work.
Exactly.
You're not even trying to use it.
Yes. It is crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's so crazy. And it's like,
life is hard enough. Why not try any little thing to make it better?
You know, it's so funny. This revelation struck me today. I was thinking about, like, because I have friends. I mean, I don't know if I can. Acquaintances on the edge of friends, you know, that are just
I have a few friends
around me.
Tons of acquaintances.
And, like, the people that I don't really totally let in on the goods, if you will. Like, the people that I don't let in on, like, here, now here's the chamber of gold, you know. The people that I don't let in on that are the people that would probably just, like a bull in a china shop. They would not even see that that's in there. They wouldn't even recognize, they wouldn't even appreciate that sort of value. So what's interesting is some of those folks, like, when I'm pointing out the synchronicities, when I'm like, this is astonishing, we were just talking about this, and now here this is, you know, or here's this and this and that. You know, a lot of times these people will be like, look, Kurt, things aren't always, you know, you can't, things aren't always exciting, and they aren't always.
That part of I Heart Huckabee, she's like the existential detective, like, things aren't always, you know, for a purpose, or like, things aren't always meaningful. Sometimes it's good. And then Jason Swift is convinced. He's like, yeah, it's meaningful.
Yes.
Yeah, it's meaningful.
Yes.
Yes, it's happiness. Yes, it's pointing to joy. Yes, it's like, you know, it has to do with each other.
It's crazy because what's the alternative? If I'm like, okay, so not everything can be good.
The alternative is nihilism.
Wait, and that's the thing. It's like
it doesn't matter what you do because nothing matters.
Right. So it's funny when I hear that, like, well, everything can't be happy, and it's like, yes, and also everything doesn't have to be sad all the time.
Right.
Everything, because too many times we always hear people.
And everything doesn't have to be super happy all the time. It's
right.
Like there's a flow, like you said.
But it's also a willingness to shine a light on those exciting things.
Yes,
it's like people
I think things are more exciting than
you know, there aren't any Lamborghinis out here or anything. Okay, so what?
So
but look at the beautiful blue sky.
Yeah,
you know,
right?
It's like, but look at these awesome palm trees.
Or the guy who just skateboarded by, he looked so happy.
Right. So like, rather than pointing out what's not there,
yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I dig that, you know.
Enjoying life, just enjoying the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
I just realized this is gonna run out, but I'll restart it. This is gonna run out in like probably 3 minutes. But
wow, we've been talking that long.
We've been
talking that long, and that's slow. Oh, I got ketchup in my hair.
It's so interesting when you're talking with that, you know, when you're talking shop with someone who gets those nuances and the details and the layers and the textures. It's just like, it's so satisfying, it's so nutritious, it's so delicious, it's just like, it's so good, it feels so good, it feels so good, and time just flies. As it says, time flies when you're having fun, right?
Totally.
So it's like, that's
so
like such a rule, you know? It's
so
like
refreshing.
Like, I remember like being in like high school just going, when is this going to end? Well, things would fly by the more that I'd sit there drawing.
Yeah,
you know?
totally.
You know, like, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying myself.
Because it's a different frequency.
It's
a different frequency. Yeah, it's funny too. That guy I told you, that crazy maniac that was doing. Actually, what happens throughout all of that is I have 3 new really close friends that are on this level that I met because he throws
isn't
lots
that
of
the
parties at
unexpected?
his fancy house because he always has to be like, you know, the guy. And I met them through those random parties.
Oh my God.
So it was like there's a lot of good that came out of it.
I love it. Okay, I'm gonna press stop on this and start it again.
Exact place that what?
So I sent him a TikTok that I found, and he texted me back. He goes, "Look at what I'm looking at right now," and it was the exact same website that was referenced in the TikTok.
That'd be cool if that works.
Yeah, it would be. Oh my God, I love it. You're a magician. You just opened the door.
No, you know
by
what
pressing
happened?
random buttons.
No, I think
Oh my
it was
God.
because I finally pulled instead of
Oh my
pushed.
God, I love it.
But
I
it
love that
looks
the universe
cool.
gave
But
us
it
that little
looks cool.
gift. Ooh, now that's a sophisticated chair.
That was amazing.
Oh my God, look at that wallpaper. That's so cool.
Oh yeah, this is it.
Wow, very artistic. Very artistic.
Yeah, it's cool.
Wow.
Hello?
Wow.
Yeah, like that's a sophisticated
Wow.
couch.
Yeah. I'll take a. Ooh, that's good.
I want like even more sophisticated.
Yeah,
We're
even
so
more. Let's go
goofy.
from major.
We're so goofy, it'll be a fun
Let's do. Oh
juxtaposition.
yeah, you better believe it. And I love the word juxtaposition.
We're juxtaposition.
One of my
all
personal
over the place.
faves.
Oh, look at this area.
Whoa! And look at that. We always like going down. Like, look at this. Going down. Talk about going down the rabbit hole. Look at that. I love how it's painted and it goes right off the edge of the. Oh my gosh! It was like a serving tray or something. That's a cool.
I love that.
Wow. Then there's a. What is that? A swan or a goose or something over there? Wow. Wow. Well, welcome to my museum of sophisticated furniture.
So cool.
I am Baron von Sophistication III.
Baron Von. Barely Vonning.
Does it? Oh, I love it. That's like a fake fireplace, and it looks like there should be like a. You press a
know.
secret log, and it goes.
Maybe
It spins around.
Let's press all of them.
Let's press them all. After all, you press the buttons and you open the doors. So heck, why wouldn't this work?
The whole thing like
Yeah.
rotates. But I'm claustrophobic, so I don't think I would like that. Ooh, yeah.
First time I've seen a gold disco ball.
Yeah, that's a good point. You and your points.
You and your points.
Let me take a picture.
You better believe it.
I'm gonna try to.
If I didn't take a picture, I'd be like, who
Try to
is
act
this guy?
serious.
I'm gonna try to act. Oh yeah, especially in front of the rabbit.
Yeah, how do I look like them?
Oh yes, yes, yes. Ooh, that's good. TMZ. Attention TMZ, we got a celebrity sighting right here. Right here, right now. Let's get all of the full majesty. Ooh, that's good. Kick ass. Now we're gonna do this. Just you. Yeah, that's good. Oh my god. I gotta say, you're good at what you do.
Oh, this is cool.
And there's a butt. And this one we see your legs.
So funny, I love it. Very good, very good.
That's
very
brilliant.
Good. Look at Shmina.
Turning royalty into animals
See
since
if we can find
1400.
more sophisticated chairs. Oh, perfect.
Perfect.
We're just going to take a picture.
Hold on, let me get that hotel soap as to use as my tripod, and then we can. Look at that, the textures on there. That's great.
We were just talking about texture.
Yes, indeed we were. That's one of my favorite parts about paintings is touching them, and then also.
And then
When
getting
I-
kicked out of the
And
art
then getting
gallery.
kicked right out of there. Zing, zang, zoom. Get that kid out of here. What's this vagabond doing here? He's touching the paintings. Let's see, here we go.
This place is so cool.
Let's see.
Wow, look at all the chandeliers. I'm gonna swing from the chandelier.
Oh, that's good. That's good. It's like a. There's a fierce backlight on you.
Is it
Oh.
fierce?
Very fierce.
Hope
It's
it
got
blocks-
teeth. It's bearing teeth.
Hope it blocks my
Pointed
face.
fangs. Does the fierce light block my face?
I hope so.
Oh, that's perfect. Let's see from this angle. Oh, there's like a glow behind you.
Like, look at the camera lens. I am.
Ooh.
I like it.
So I'll probably do some little tricks in there,
Oh,
like
yeah,
just
I
pull
like
up
that
the
one,
contrast
too.
or something, you know, like
I like it.
take away the shadows.
That
Look at
one's fun.
I'll send these to you.
These are great. I'll take one of you now doing
That
something
is
funny.
good.
I feel like you should just lay on there.
I will. Among all the pillows.
I will.
Don't you threaten me with a good time. Don't
Don't
you?
tell me what to do
Hey, kid.
and tell me what to do.
Don't you dare tell me what to do and
And
tell me exactly what to do.
We can have it all.
We can have it all. All or nothing and nothing.
And nothing at all.
And nothing at all.
All or nothing and nothing at all.
Let's see. Which one?
Oh,
I'm trying to
that's
think like how
great.
Burt Reynolds.
Oh yeah, he did it like
like-
that with the legs crossed.
He had his legs crossed like
I
this.
think it was over that way. I think. Oh, but Magnum PI, Tom Selleck does one like that too, and his leg is
Does
up.
he? His leg is up like when he's
Yeah.
on a couch?
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Sophistication, baby.
I don't know what angle I'm supposed to do. Oh, there we go. That was good. We'll do both.
Marvelous, marvelous.
Let's see. No. There's nobody up here.
These paintings are great. I love what they're painted on. The actual things that they're painted on. Like the frames, I think, are a huge aspect of the whole thing.
Yes. This whole place is fun.
Wow. You know, it's so interesting. It's like I'm just getting like this vibe of the bar that's in The Shining.
Oh yeah.
It's got that
Speakeasy in
vibe.
here.
Yeah.
Speakeasy vibe. It probably looks sick at night. Looks like they don't use, maybe it's like private parties and stuff.
Oh.
They don't usually fly.
Isn't that awesome? They're just letting us wander around.
Oh, for sure.
No authority figures going, hey, scram, kid.
Ugh, I would not want to be in there.
Uh-oh. What
Well,
do you think that is? An incinerator or a
we'll
freezer?
have to do the group shot downstairs.
Yeah.
The universe is pushing us out of that room. Or maybe I am. Maybe the universe is working through me. I'm so confused!
It's all right. Universe, help me.
Help me! You should take one up there. I picture you doing something like singing in the rain.
Oh my
I
God.
wonder if they let us. Just do it real quick.
Yeah, I will. I shall.
I don't give a fuck.
What? I'll pretend like I just took this book right off the. I took this book right off the
Dude,
shelf.
just act like you're reading casually. Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna get some with you up there.
My turn. I'll just do your butt too.
I love it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I gotta get the leg. Gotta get the leg kick out. Oh, that's good. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. Very good. Very. Oh yeah. Hold on. Oh yeah. That's good. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. It's like this glow.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, yours had a glow too. Very cool.
It's awesome. This could be called Ballerina Reads. Reading
Ballerina.
Ballerina.
Reading ballerina.
Yeah, how else can we fuck this shit up?
I know.
Yo, let's get this place lit, man. Oh yeah, stay right there. Oh my gosh, you know what? And I realized there's footage. I could be taking footage through these things.
What do you mean footage?
Then we can blend it. Like I should take some videos, and that way we can use this
Oh yeah.
to make a music video for you. Wouldn't that be awesome? We put that for your song.
I forgot about that. I think people change a lot because of those kinds of responsibilities.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
They have to push things down, and they don't get to like, I don't know, be as imaginative because they're afraid they're going to drop the ball probably.
Ooh, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
That's why people do that. And, you know, they're
Yeah.
responsible for keeping these little beings alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like such a fine line, but then they need you to be playful, you know?
Yes,
So
they
it's
need you to
like-
be playful.
It's like, what do you do?
It's like, how do we figure out how to be playful through doing these, quote,
Yeah.
serious tasks without having to furrow our brows?
Go in the kitchens.
Yeah.
Making ourselves a sandwich.
Yeah. I'm just going to cook up a spicy meatball for you. Hey,
Oh,
don't
look
mind
at
me.
the way they did the boys and the girls. They have the boys. And
Oh
then-
my God, the little,
And then the
oh my God.
girls.
Glenda and the Lollipop Guild, right?
Cute.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
And you
Wow.
represent-
Very cool. Look at all the mushrooms around here too, which is awesome.
Ooh, that's right.
Wow, we are in the this. I don't even know what this place is, but it's very cool in here. I've been taking some footage of Darla in here, and just great paintings, great architecture in here, such production value. Wow. Wow. So fun. This bookshelf that they got here has some nifty books on it. The one that Darla found is, well, I'll read to you a couple. The Histories by William Shakespeare. The Genius of the System, that was one she was looking at, by Thomas Schultz. The Dark Wood by Weston. The Night of the Generals by Hans Helmut Kirst. The Archbishop and the Lady. The Harlequin Classics? I don't know, the H-A-R, it's cut off there. Poems and Songs by Burns. Goethe, the story of Renard the Fox. Another one called The Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan. Illustrated with watercolors by William Blake. I didn't know William Blake was an artist as well. I had heard that he was a writer. I haven't read any William Blake. Let's check out some of these watercolors. Oh my gosh. What the heck? Oh my gosh, I gotta get a copy of this book. What the author's apology for his book. I just opened it up to the heck? Okay, I gotta the author's apology for his book. Oh my gosh. William Blake is a phenomenal, what the heck? Phenomenal watercolor painter. My gosh. I gotta start getting more into watercolors. Holy cow. All right, I'm gonna see if I can take a picture of this. It's really cool. Let's see if I can find it again. It said that the book was A Christian Reads a Book, I think. I want to get that photo again. There's a lot of really cool paintings in here. Wow. The Christian in the Slough of Despond. A lot of things. Oh, here we go. It's a very interesting book. This looks very interesting. All right, let's see. Oh, wow, this is cool. Christian reading his book. Interesting. Wow. Great. It's like this person is totally stooped over, reading in his book. It looks like an angel with his wings folded. Christian reading in his book.
Pretend to have a meeting on here.
Oh my gosh.
So there was this joke at parties recently where the guy I was dating was like, he was a drug dealer too, so he's like always having a meeting at parties, of course. And I'd walk around somewhere and they'd be like, Darla, give us a second, we're in a meeting.
Oh my God.
So then I started
Give me a second, we're in a meeting.
So then when those people would like come up to me later, when I'd be like clearly partying and having fun, I'd be like, I'd stop dancing and be like, excuse me guys, I'm in a meeting.
Oh my God, that's great.
Like,
That's great.
dancing
Excuse
with
me,
my
guys.
friends.
I'm in a meeting. This is a real deal here. Oh God, this is good. All right, hold on. Let's see.
Oh wait, what else can we
Let's see. We could use a bowl of fruit or something as a
That's what I
tripod.
was thinking.
Yeah? Oh my God. Yes. Oh, that's good.
I'm gonna eat one of these.
Oh, this is good. Oh yeah, okay, that's good. Okay, I'll take a couple. One from way down here, and you're way at the end. Yes, oh my God. Okay, hold on.
Told me to go buy a pack of cigarettes. I bought a pack for her, and hey, I'll get me a pack.
And you were 10 years old? Oh my gosh.
And smoked one and couldn't stop coughing. And I have had a cigar on the birth of kids and that type of thing.
Like celebratory. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing is about the age of 19. Back in the southern states, they have what you call fish fries after they go fishing contests. You know, they have fish fries that weekend, and the drinks are free and everything. So I'm the one who was passing out the drinks. And when it was all, three of us rode together in the car. When it was all over, there was a picture of Manhattan, a fifth of vodka, and a fifth of something else. And when you're 19, you say, hey, I don't remember how I got home. I said, this will never happen again.
I have too many stories like that.
So you were 10 years old when your grandma asked you to go and get her a pack of cigarettes, and you're like, hey, what the heck, I'll get myself a pack too. Oh my gosh. That's incredible.
They were 20 and 25 cents a pack.
Wow.
Dang.
That reminds me of like the images that you see the like the little Newsies kids, you know, selling the newspapers back in the olden days, and they're just smoking cigarettes like no problem. Like a little 7 and 8 year old selling newspapers and smoking.
I take it you're record collectors.
Yes. Just got a record player. My friend gave it to me, so I have a few.
Do you have suggestions? Well, like what would be good? It'd be interesting if they're hiding in here in these shelves here.
Well,
Found this.
So am I.
You're a record collector?
Yeah, but I've gone through those a number of times. I don't think there's no goodies hidden in there. Unless you're a fan of somebody. No.
I got the swing collection.
Yeah. See.
They got the mood on here.
Okay.
They were in the mood.
When I started collecting records, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and those guys were the guys, and everybody grew out of that
Yeah.
era. And it went from there to Presley and the Beatles and what have you, along about that time. And then, see, jazz and rock didn't come along until later in the years after it started. So what you want now is 45 records that were done in the 50s and that type of
Okay.
not.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's some of
Good
your favorite
idea.
music to listen to now?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Do you still listen to those guys on your record player?
I listen to it in the car, not on the.
This is 75. I like the 70s.
I just love the crickle crackle.
Yes, exactly. 71. Good.
That in itself is a personality.
Totally. Like warm.
I met these guys. I met a guy before who told me that he knew how to press records on like old X-rays. He would go behind hospitals and look in the garbage bins and find the old X-rays, and he found some way to press.
That's cool.
Like rather than vinyl, you put a record on there. Like how crazy would that be? It's like someone's femur bone or something. Some X-ray.
That's
it's like
cool.
you're playing Frank Sinatra or something.
That's like sound textures you can add to songs. That's what the Kills do. They add their own like raw sounds
More than
like that,
likely,
like a button
those
sound
are
or
some type of vinyl.
something crunching or.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever listened to the Kills. I gotta listen to them.
Oh my god, you'll love them.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, you're
I've heard about them.
to go down the coolest rabbit hole ever, and they're cool people too.
What was the first album you heard that I might investigate?
You probably have never heard of these guys, but okay.
It's the one with the tape song on it.
Oh. You bringing up one of your records?
This is a 45.
Led Zeppelin.
Oh hell yeah, Led Zeppelin.
These are some of the ones that you have. Are you selling these?
These are some of the prices of some of the 45.
Oh my gosh! Whoa, man! Whoa! 3,800. Oh my gosh!
Midnight Bloom.
Isn't it interesting? There are people out there who are deciding what that value is. There are people out there who are going, "This is how much I'm going to sell for," and there are people out there who are going, "This is how much I'm going to buy it for."
Well, it's probably the records you see here you never heard, other than Presley and Led Zeppelin and those guys, you may have not have heard.
Oh yeah, who's that? The
of.
Shalons. Wow, never heard of those
Sorry.
guys.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The Shalons,
Yeah.
the Queers, Carolina Grudge, 45.
All this glassware.
Holy Grail Rockabilly. Gosh, it's so interesting, right? All those obscure bands that are just out there that...
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I wonder if they have a French press.
Oh, I love it. I just saw this, the Star Wars trilogy. We were just talking about Star Wars earlier, about
Yes.
the Force.
I wish I had a tape player.
See, there's somebody who collects everything.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, a thesaurus.
I don't care what it is. It might be old 45 tapes. You can find one of those that says Black Diamond on it. Disney made them.
Black Diamond? Is
Well, that's. Let's see. We'll go back.
Glassware, dishware, 50% off.
You're just talking about Dean Martin, right? Weren't you talking about Dean Martin? That's pretty cool. Dean Martin Variety Show. I love places like this. You can just get lost in them. Like comic book shops, that's another kind of thing
Yeah,
that I
there's
just,
one
I'm like,
across the street.
oh my God. Skate shops too. Skate shops, thrift stores, comic book shops. They're all just such a joy. Black Diamond Classic. So now, what does that mean?
They made those in 1992.
Oh,
Aladdin, Jungle King, all of those. And they didn't make them all.
so they just had it just for that time, huh?
They have kind of a rectangle. No, I'm sorry, a diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it says Black Diamond on it. And
I know they sell those a lot on eBay. Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, $4,000. Whoa. For a VHS tape that has.
throw away. People throw away. People
throw
throw
away.
Nobody uses it anymore.
That's true. That's so true. I gave a whole bunch of VHS tapes to this video store that was next door to me because I was like, what the heck? I had to move, and I was just like, oh, I had to get rid of all. Not the home movies. I kept those. I kept like the ones that were special. I kept those. Motley Crue. Wow.
$40 for a postcard.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, a little box. A little tea set.
A little tea set.
I found Nemo.
Attention, attention, everybody. I have found Nemo. Nemo has been found.
Nemo, attention.
Rest assured, Nemo
Attention
has
all shoppers.
attention all shoppers. Nemo has been found.
He has been found.
Rest easy. Wow. Thrift stores. What are your thoughts about thrift stores? We will be back later. It is now 8:14 p.m. I'm coming back from the train station on my way home. I'll be doing some very simple packing before I go to sleep because I got to be at Phil's by 3:45 a.m. Philly Ocean to make our way out to the airport to be on time to catch our plane for Pennsylvania. And I totally forgot that I only have 1 hour 1 hour increments when I record interviews, unless of course I'm on a phone call on Anchor, then I can record up to 2 hours. But I forgot that while I'm in person, it's only 1 hour, and talking with Darla, it just flew by so fast. So I try to record bits and pieces all throughout the time. There's a thrift store in there where we talked to a guy. Just a few different locations throughout Culver City. And throughout all that time, I just kept shooting footage of her doing various things. And just very yes and, very go with the flow, very, rocking and rolling. And it was just awesome. Just awesome. It's just wonderful when you can collaborate with people who are tuned into that aspect. People who are just really not over analytical. All that stuff we talk about. So, yeah, it was really fun, really refreshing. And, when you're with people who are curious, who are brave, who go for it, the explorers, when you have friends like that, and they're willing to explore, it opens you up so much more to move forward and try stuff out and go, hey, I wonder what happens if we do this or do that. And as you continue testing out things like that, going, oh yeah, wouldn't that be funny if this, wouldn't that be great if that, then you start finding some interesting situations occurring there. You start uncovering some really cool stuff. So I shot a bunch of bunch of footage around this really cool. I think I recorded some audio of us walking around in there. I'm not even sure what the name of this place was, but I'll be including Darla Day's SoundCloud in there, her Instagram. Anyways, those are the ways that you can get a hold of her. And so she'll be able for you to contact that way and be inspired by her music that way. Highly vibrational. Always hold these people close to your heart. The highly vibrational ones, the ones who really want to listen to you, want to contribute to your life experience. Those are the people you really got to pay attention to. I'm just very, very blessed to have people like her in my life. And a lot of these folks, many more of these highly vibrational spirits are who you will find on Inspirado Projecto podcast. The intriguing folks who have amazing theories, outlandish ideas, conviction, determination, etc., etc. All right, that is all for now. I'll talk to you later. And guess what? I will be doing some podcasting while Yachtly Cruise on the road, while we are on tour, zipping around. So keep your ears out for that, and lots of other interviews I still have yet to release. So thank you for listening to Inspirado, and take care.
It's Superhero, and you're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
It's a face palm, a bomb of calm, like a napalm bomb. It's a face palm, crumbly malm of loamy alms. And how soon do you think you to do it again? It's a face palm, here it come alms, playing Brahms on prom. And how soon do you think you to do it again? Have the homes from Guam to the cable comms. Are the rom diatoms glom in their moms? It's a face palm, the book of psalms and rhymes and rums. And how soon do you think you'll do it again?